Brisebois, and welcome to another Farmer Spreadsheet tip. Today, we're going to talk about navigating quickly around your spreadsheets, or what I call scooting around spreadsheets with Dan. Here, we've got a spreadsheet. This is actually the spreadsheet that back in Farmer Spreadsheet tip number 1. It's a farmer's market projections or farmer's market sales projection, and we explored some product with this. Now, we're not going to talk too much about some product here, but let's talk about navigating it. So you could use your mouse and just kind of scroll around and click on cells here or there, and that works fairly well to find where you're going to go. However, it can take a bit of time, and you got to keep taking your hands off your keyboard to use that mouse. What we're going to look at is 3 shortcuts to make this a lot quicker and not take your hand off your mouse, or not take your hand off your keyboard to use the mouse. So the first thing we'll look at is moving to the next to last cell that has content in a row or column. I should say that I tend to use Macs, so I'm most familiar with the Macs shortcuts, but I have noted other shortcuts that probably work with other systems too, but I can really vouch for the Mac in this context. Now on a Mac, to do this shortcut, you push the button, the command button, which is the button to the left of the space bar. It's the button with the little butterfly on it. So you push command and the arrow in the direction you want to move in, depending whether you have a row or a column. Let's go back to that spreadsheet, and let's say I'm right here. I'm on the $2. If I push command and down, it shoots me to the bottom to 350, which is the last cell that has content right here. If I push command and up, I go to the top. If I push command and right, I go to value at the far end. So I can shoot around the spreadsheet fairly easy this way. Now let's say I'm over here on broccoli and I push command and right. It brings me to 350, which is the last cell that has content before there's a break. If I push command and right, it'll send me to the following cell with content in it. This is an easy way to move around to where you want to be. Another shortcut to move to the first or last cell in a row. Now, on a Mac, we'll use the FN button, the function button, plus left or right, whether you want to go left or right. And I should say this works for the first or last cell in a row, but it doesn't work in a column, and we'll explain what happens when you do that in a column shortly. Let's say I'm on right here on garlic, and I push FN and right, it shoots me to the last cell of that row, AC. Over here, if I push FN and left, it shoots me to the last cell over there. And so that works fairly simple. However, if I want to go down to the bottom of the column and I push FN and down, instead of going to the bottom of the column, it just sends me down 1 page width. And if I push FN and up, it just sends me up 1 page width. So it is valuable for scooting around a spreadsheet, but it doesn't bring you to the bottom or the top. It does it by installments. The last shortcut is to move to the first or last cell in a sheet. So to do this, we're going to kind of combine all the buttons. So we're going to push FN and butterfly command, and then plus left or right, depending whether we're going to the first or the last. So here, if I do FN and command and I press the last, it brings me to the last cell of the whole spreadsheet. FN command and left sends me to A1, the first cell. FN command and right sends me to the last cell. With these 3 shortcuts, you can move all over your spreadsheet really, really quickly, not have to use a mouse to get to places. And when you combine this with the shift button, you can select areas that you want to highlight for whatever reason, and you start to get really powerful with what you can do. So let's go look over here. So let's do so it's back into the spreadsheet, FN command and left. We're at the beginning. We will do command and down to get to the bottom here, command and right, and I'm on 2950. So this is the sum product formula from spreadsheet tip number 1. If you want to talk about some product, or you want to hear about some product, go back and look at that tip. Right now, we'll just use the formula and use some shortcuts to enter quickly. So I'll delete what's there currently. I'm going to do equals sum product, open parentheses, and now I'm going to use the arrows to get to the 350. I'm pushing Command and up. Oh, wait a second, I made a mistake. I push Shift first because I want to select, and then Command and up, and it selects everything. And then I'm going to just go down by one cell, so I'm selecting the price range. Now, the next range I'm going to select, I move over one. I'm starting in the row, the D column. So here I'm going to do FN, Shift first, I want to select, FN, and up. Is that right? And that brings me, brings me to the top here, and then I'll go down one, and I have my range selected, close parentheses, enter, and I have the formula entered. So that's a way that you can do this without getting your hands off the keyboard, and it makes you go a lot quicker. You don't have to use the command or function button to do this. You could just push select, shift, and then use your arrows to move around however you wish. And then if you want, you could copy and then go somewhere else, and you could paste it. I'm not sure exactly why you would copy paste this information in this context, but you could. I put together a summary sheet of all these shortcuts. If you want to see them, you can download this spreadsheet I'm working on with this link here. And that was Scooting Around Spreadsheets with Dan. If you have any farm planning or management challenges that you think a spreadsheet might fix, please tell me about it in an email or comment on one of my posts or send me a direct message. I love getting new challenges to figure out for future farm spreadsheet tips. And I'll be here next week on Facebook Live at 2 p.m. And in the meantime, happy harvesting.